I did it. I had the hard drive. Best of all, Vinny and Shal didn't even know that I had it. That gave me some confidence and peace of mind as I sped towards the Face headquarters. I arrived with no trouble at all and pulled into the secret vehicular entrance. No sooner than I had exited my car, I heard Keith's booming voice from across the garage.
Sourface! Ivan, my boy. It sure is grand to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. I rummaged in my pocket and produced the hard drive. Look, I got it.
Why, of course you did, Ivan. I wouldn't have put you up to the task if I did not think you could. And I must apologize for our phone call last night. I was quite tired. I'm not usually disturbed at 3 a.m. I hope you can forgive me.
Oh, certainly. It's no problem at all, I said with a big smile. I handed the hard drive to Keith.
Good. Excellent. Outstanding work. I'm going to get this to our technical expert, Codeface, right away. He'll break down the data and see what can be found. Again, wonderful job.
Thank you. Vinny and Shal were so dumb, they probably still haven't even noticed that I switched the hard drive with an empty one.
Oh, I'm sure they'll figure it out before too long. That is quite the cunning tactic, though. Bravo. Speaking of cunning tactics, I think it's time we assigned you your first real case. What do you say?
What do you mean, my first real case?
Well, here at Face, we handle police cases that they cannot or simply do not want to deal with. And just this morning, the police commissioner called me with a case that sounds like a perfect fit for you.
Okay, what is it?
The police have gotten several reports of unearthed graves with empty caskets at the Sunset Manor Cemetery across town. I'd like you to head over there and figure out what is going on. Can I count on you, Sourface?
Oh man, real-life zombies? Not wanting to let Keith down, I somewhat shakily said, yes. Yes, you can.
Excellent. Good luck out there. And Sourface, if you need to call me at 3 a.m. again, go right ahead.
He said with a smile as he left the garage. There certainly was never a dull moment around here. I suppose I'm off to the cemetery, I thought. As I drove, I thought about my plan of action. My first step should be to figure out where the zombie went, and then figure out why. I mean, zombies weren't real, I knew that, but I was still pretty nervous.
Welcome to a special Halloween episode of the Ivan Sowers Mystery Hours, brought to you by Channel Your Random. It's your pals, Vinny and Sal, and we'll be hosting the show this evening.
On tonight's episode, Ivan gets a case from the police, and it takes him to a cemetery and to a... Hey!
Shut it, you dingus. You're gonna spoil the whole episode. Enjoy, folks.
The cemetery sure was small, probably less than 50 graves. It didn't look very well maintained either. In the broad daylight, it wasn't so bad, but I did not want to be here at night. I walked around a bit until I saw it. A big hole in the ground, surrounded by loose dirt. As I approached, I began to feel quite uneasy. The casket looked like it had been violently broken apart. There was wood everywhere, and there was a big set of footprints leading back towards the road. I knew zombies weren't real, but this had me convinced otherwise. I briefly looked around the messy scene, and then realized that just a few graves over, a similar event had played out, complete with footprints. All of a sudden, something shiny caught my eye. I walked over to it and picked it up. Wow! It was a gold ring, brand new. I could tell because it still had the price tag on it. $15,000? That's crazy, I said aloud. The back of the tag read, Schwintz Jewelers. Well, at least I know where to check next, I thought to myself. Before I left, I snapped photos of both the unearthed graves as evidence, then took off for the jewelry store. I arrived to quite a scene at the jewelry store. There were 2 police cars out front, keeping back a crowd of onlookers. I parked my car and approached one of the officers. Excuse me, sir. I'm here on official face business. My name is Showerface.
Ah, the new guy. All right, head on in. But be warned, there were back-to-back robberies here the last 2 nights. The owner is quite shaken up.
Thanks for the heads up, I said as I entered the store. The place was a wreck. The glass cases were smashed to pieces, and there was hardly any jewelry left. A woman in the back of the store was sitting on a stool, looking very unhappy. Ma'am, my name is Showerface, and I'm an investigator. I held up the ring from the cemetery. Does this look familiar to you? She stared at the ring with a bewildered facial expression.
Yes. Yes, it does. That's one of the first pieces that was stolen during the first robbery 2 nights ago. Where did you find this?
I decided to play my cards close to my chest. I'm sorry, but I am not at liberty to discuss that with you. Were you here for either of the robberies?
No. Thank goodness. They happened late at night, so I was safely at home.
Did anyone witness the break-ins?
Not that I know of. Just the security camera. But I'm not sure how much good it'll do, because they only show the outside of the store. The police still haven't even looked at the footage yet.
May I take a look?
Yeah, whatever. Follow me.
She walked me to a tiny office at the back of the building. There was a small television, which she fiddled with for a few minutes.
All right, here you go.
I watched intently. It was nighttime in the video. The camera was pointed away from the storefront, out onto the street. All of a sudden, a slow-moving figure came into the frame. He was walking very oddly, almost a limp, and dragging a foot behind. Then it happened. He looked right into the camera. "Ah, zombie!" I screamed. The creature had a horribly disfigured face. It was bald, missing teeth, and looked like its skin was rotting right off. I had seen enough. Shut it off, please.
Like, OMG. Like, a zombie literally just robbed me?
Ma'am, you need to calm down. You are hysterical. But it was no good. She was running around yelling. I got one of the officers to help calm her down, and then got back in my car. So, a zombie robbed the store. Certainly there was a connection to the busted open graves at the cemetery. But if the zombie broke out and then robbed the store, why did I find the ring back at the cemetery? Did the zombie return to break out the other grave dweller? And where was the second zombie? This case was getting curiouser and curiouser. I decided to go check out the funeral home that buried the bodies in the first place. I hopped in the car and sped off.
I hope you alls is enjoying the show so far.
I know I am.
Me too. I'm enjoying the fact that you ain't in it. Anyways, if you like what you're hearing, be sure to go and subscribe to Channel Your Random on the YouTubes. Otherwise, Sal here's gonna give you the works.
That's right.
Alright, back to the show.
Showerface to home.
How can I help, Sourface?
On my phone, there are 2 photos of empty graves with their tombstones. I need you to tell me which funeral home was responsible for the burials.
One moment, please. The business you are searching for is the Jenkins Brothers Funeral Home.
Navigate me there, please.
Right away. Will that be all?
For now, yes. Jenkins Brothers Funeral Home was a tiny building on the far end of town. It looked like it had seen better days. From the outside, it almost looked abandoned. I mustered up my courage and pushed open the front door.
Hello. Welcome to the Jenkins Brothers Funeral Home. We are deeply sorry for your loss and will do anything to accommodate you. My name is Barty Jenkins. How may I be of service?
Oh no, I have not lost anyone. I'm an investigator. My name is Showerface, I said, extending my hand to the man. He was much taller than me, with a pretty slim build. He had a well-rounded face and very short black hair. He looked pretty suave, wearing khakis and a maroon sweater.
Oh, well hello there, Sourface. What can I do for you?
I'm here to look at your records. Several of your burials at Sunset Manor Cemetery were reported dug up recently, and upon further investigation, we believe that the deceased bodies have been reanimated.
Surely you jest. Zombies? My clients? Well, this cannot get out at all. Business is already bad enough. This kind of publicity would hang me out to dry. I'll get you our record books right away.
He ducked into a room and came out several minutes later with a big book.
In this book is every burial we've done in the past 2 months. Now, I have to get back to my work downstairs. If you'd just leave this book here when you're done, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Sure thing, thank you. He left the room. I pulled out my phone and looked at the names on the tombstones that I had photographed. Frederick Jones and Norval Rogers. I thumbed through the pages of the record book until I stumbled upon the page of Frederick Jones. Surely this can't be right, I exclaimed. There was no information at all. No relatives, no funeral attendants, and the payment info just read pending. It was almost as if Mr. Frederick Jones didn't even exist. I quickly looked for Norval Rogers, and sure enough, no information on him either. What the heck? Looking through some of the other names, everyone had at least some kind of information. All except for one other entry, Grosvenor Kaspersky. There were no relatives listed, no funeral attendants, and the payment was marked as pending. I wonder if, for whatever reason, he was going to break out tonight. I knew it had to be done. Tonight, I was going grave robbing.
Has everyone subscribed to Channel Your Random yet?
Sal, you knucklehead, we just told him to subscribe like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I was just thinking.
Button your yap, you mug. Hit the play button, you moron. Sorry about that, folks. Back to the show now.
I arrived back at the cemetery after dark. There was a thick layer of fog blanketing the ground, and the air was deathly still. I popped the trunk of my car and pulled out a shovel I had brought from home. I wandered into the graveyard, looking for the right tombstone. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, but I knew it was just my imagination. The wind sure was spooky. I could have sworn I heard footsteps. I glanced back over my shoulder, but there was nobody there. Suddenly, I saw it. The grave. I immediately started digging. Who's there? Probably just the wind, I thought to myself. I turned back to digging. What the heck? I had only dug about 3 inches down, yet I had already hit the casket. This certainly was not up to municipal code, I thought. Slightly confused, I dug the rest of the casket out of the ground and began to pry it open. Before my eyes laid what must have been $1 million in jewelry. I picked up a necklace. It had a tag for Schwentz Jewelry. This case suddenly started to make a whole lot more sense to me. Ah! Zombie! I yelled, as I got up and began to run from the disformed figure that had just appeared. It immediately started to run after me. Wait, this was great. If I could just catch the zombie, I could solve this whole case. Up ahead, I saw a mausoleum. I reached into my pocket, pulled out my suction cups, and scaled right up the side of the structure. I looked down. The zombie was just coming into view. He had no idea where I was. As he got closer, I prepared to tackle him. 3, 2, 1, BAM! Gotcha! I shouted as I landed right on top of the zombie. He fell to the ground, unconscious. I dragged him back to my car, tied him up with some rope, and then called the police. The commissioner showed up in just a few minutes.
Well, Sourface, it's nice to meet you in person. I'm Commissioner O'Reilly. Now tell me, what's going on with this zombie here?
Oh no, cha-cha-cha. It's a person, and I think I know who. Sourface to home.
How can I help, Sourface?
Turn on the sprinklers at Sunset Manor Cemetery, please.
Right away.
The sprinklers came on full blast, hitting the zombie square in the face. His makeup quickly began to wash off, revealing the face of Barty Jenkins. I knew it. Old Barty here has been robbing Schwint's jewelry the past few nights, and then stashing the goods in caskets. He's then burying them in the cemetery under false names and forging the records in his funeral home. He faked the first grave opening, then dressed up as a zombie to rob the store. What an interesting little scheme he had going on.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for bumbling Sourface here.
Well, Sourface, you've certainly proven yourself. I'll let Keith know of your success. You can take off now. My men will take it from here.
Thank you, Commissioner. It was a pleasure to meet you. Job well done. I got in the car and headed home. I was finally getting settled into this new life, and I quite liked it. No criminal was safe with Ivan Showers in town.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ivan Sowers Mystery Hours. Don't forget to like the episode and subscribe to our channel so we can let you know every time a new episode airs. Until next time, this has been the Ivan Sowers Mystery Hours on Channel Your Random.